hard fact is that the vast majority of businesses will never achieve anything of note online. So if that's going to be the case with your business, you may as well establish it sooner rather than later. Honestly, it'll save you a ton of money and just make your life way less stressful. So, to that end, here are 4 ways you can accelerate your digital demise. The first is to try and be really good on 5 different channels. Now, of course, your customer journey is going to touch a variety of different channels, but ultimately every great content strategy is defined by just one of those channels. So if you want to screw things up nice and early, there's no better way than to stretch your limited financial and creative resources evenly across a bunch of different channels. It will all but guarantee that none of them ever achieve anything. Step 2 is this. So if stage 1 has gone a bit awry and we've inadvertently created some lovely social engagement, don't fret, we can still sabotage the whole thing. All you need to do is keep all of that engagement on that one social channel year after year. You can be absolutely certain that given enough time, that channel is going to shift towards more aggressive monetization, killing off your organic reach, or they'll change the rules around targeting, or they'll decide that you've contravened their guidelines somehow and they're going to restrict your access. Whatever it is, give it enough time, you can be absolutely sure that your investment will slowly erode and vanish. Step 3 is specific to those businesses that define their leads by MQL and SQL, marketing qualified and sales qualified. Now, when we talk about marketing qualified leads, we're talking about those instances where we've captured the data of our target audience, usually in return for a nice piece of content. Now, the key here is to make sure that we're defining success entirely by those MQLs. So rather than seeing them for what they are, which is one pretty small touch point in a much bigger customer journey, we instead pretend that they are the beginning, middle, and end of everything. I mean, how could sales possibly screw it up, right? We've given them the email address and telephone number of someone that's probably in the target audience, and that person has downloaded a piece of content that vaguely relates to the stuff that we sell. It's a gimme, right? I mean, let's ignore the fact that conversion rate from MQL to SQL is really bloody low for the vast majority of B2B brands, but the point is that we've shifted accountability over to sales, so we can relax. Phew. The final step is this. So if all else has failed and we find that we've somehow created a world-class content strategy that is simultaneously leveraging the channel closest to our audience whilst also building our own asset, and all while sharing ownership of revenue with sales rather than just fobbing them off with a bunch of MQLs, I still have one last idea that can help you to stop this thing from scaling into something truly valuable. And it's this. Marketing is a creative thing, right? You can't be expected to attach financial metrics to this stuff any more than you can quantify a piece of art. I mean, obviously you can, but it's really bloody important that the senior leadership team never realize it. And if they challenge you, just say something like, the customer longevity is too variable, that's a good one. Or our services are too bespoke. Or there's too many touch points along the customer journey. To be honest, they'll have stopped listening by this point anyway. The important thing is that we don't attach financial metrics to each channel, because if we can't see what each channel is contributing financially, then we can't possibly build a business case for scaling that activity. All this hopefully means that people will stop viewing marketing as something that belongs in the commercial and strategic driving seat of the business, and instead let us get back to our quiet little office down the corridor where we used to while away the hours designing pop-up banners for the annual exhibition and occasionally helping the sales team make their slide decks slightly less shit. Simpler times.